This video contains big, very big spoilers, and I'll hit you with a spoiler right away. For Persona 3, but also for life, you will die. With that, I have spoiled this 15-year-old game, and also your life, which was released even longer ago. Unless you're a turbo zoomer, I suppose. So I'd say spoiler policy dictates that it's open season on all suckheads. Don't even get me started on your post-divorce 40s arc. Oh man. Be glad that you don't got that time spasticity going on, cause that shit, if you were unstuck in time. Man, I sure wouldn't want a glimpse of that if I were you. But well, that's not what we're here for, eh? Persona 3 Reload is a remake of the first game of the series, Persona 3, and it's truly a blessing for a guy like me who prefers replaying 80-hour games over actually experiencing anything new for a change. Inside of me there are two wolves. One likes Northernlion-pilled menu games, the other likes horror dweeb shit. Actually, there's a third. Is Grimlo Bimblo enjoying Nintendo Cell in there as well? But, well, anyway, one of my wolves is definitely pogging out of his gourd for this one. This game, the third coming for weebs around the world, gives you the chance to have what you never had. A normal, socially well-adjusted high school life. Ah, how things could have been if instead of posting Wojaks on Main you had gone outside. Stop sitting in your room listening to Nine Inch Nails. Go out there, talk to people. Or just play Persona. You can have friends, a relationship. Hell, you can have multiple if you so dare. You can have a job, you can study for exams, you can do your taxes, you know, all that fun stuff you really want to do in a video game. Persona 3 illustrates a journey we must all go on. From a stupid, riskless and scared high school kid to summoning the god of death to annihilate the evil shadow creatures born from humanity's worst facets. Yes indeed, you will acquire the ability to summon death, to fight death, and also death. Also one of my best friends is Death, and soon I will be Death? You start in the shoes of Mr. Protagonist, by being let know that we have 1 year left to live. This game really makes you feel like you're gonna die one day. I don't really remember that well from my first playthrough if this was always the case, or if Reload amped that shit up, but man, there's a lot of foreshadowing in here, huh? You can name the protagonist anything you like, though judging by the way people will talk to you, you might as well call yourself Dude Man. I, for one, tapped into the ether stream of pure creativity and named him Makoto Yuki. What makes this particular Persona MC special is that he is literally me, a depressed, quiet, antisocial recluse, giving school shooter, always having his headphones on, to avoid any unnecessary social interaction. Virgin ass doesn't even have the full versions of the openings on his MP3 though. Got them from LimeWire, or YouTube to MP3 or some shit. Got some Weezer in that playlist, I'm sure of it. We move into a dorm, which I suppose shall help our depressed little protag to lead a fulfilling high school life, or whatever. It's called I Want to Die dorm. Really subtle there, Atlas. A little problem here is, though, that this dorm doesn't just house a small group of students, but also this disgusting shadow creature, which makes Makoto shoot himself in fear. It's a good thing this happens to be the way to summon Persona, the other you, within you, which gets immediately killed by the god of death, who annihilates the shadow creature and disappears. I gotta get me one of those someday. Makoto, by the way, hasn't just awoken to his persona. He has awoken to the power of the wildcard. Thus, he can freely schizo-post on main. He can swap through his different personas like they are pairs of socks. Whether he wants to wield Greek gods, silly guys, naked women or men, confirmed sexual predators, funny Dibby Jack Frost, or a quite literal cock on a chariot. I don't think I can show this here. Now, is the very concept of summoning punch ghosts which are bound to an arcana of the tarot taken wholesale from JoJo? Yes. But it's sick though. There's more questionabilities to add to the pile with this dorm. It is a dorm, yes, but also a secret base for the Shadow Elimination Squad. Also they have cameras installed in every room to spy on literal teenagers. Also this creepy stalker bossman's jokes are fucking ass, bro.
Get it? Bookworm? Because you're students? Clever, isn't it? Get it? Get it?
Anyway, we have been coaxed into working for the unfunny chairman as a professional, unpaid shadow exterminator. And our new job site is our school, but by night. Finally a representation of school I can relate to. What we do here is grind our way through ever-changing but kinda really unchanging floors full of shadows and treasure, to gain experience and funds to help us gather the strength and grip to defeat the 12 evil shadows who want to destroy the world or whatever. These shadow creatures spawn every full moon. Thus we grind our way through another 20 Tartar Sauce levels every month to prepare for the monthly shadow. The gameplay here is quite simple. Persona is a good old-fashioned turn-based RPG. You've got 4 party members and use your personas to kill a guy. More than anything really, it's a hit weakness simulator. Just do that if possible and then all out attack on their asses. That is, until you have developed your party to be a merry band of crit gods. At that point you don't even have to know what they're weak against, because you already know they're weak against you. Possibly the biggest gameplay change since Persona 3 FES, the last Persona 3 I've played, outside of that weird dancing game I think I played, if that wasn't just a bizarre fever dream, had Fuka hit the gritty or whatever, is that you now control all of your party members, rather than only controlling Mr. Protagonist, while Mitsuru was another Marin Karen.
Yes, I'm far more in my element here. Let me show you that I haven't lost my touch. Let's go! That's the layout!
Tartarsaurus has also been changed a little bit. It's still a bit of a slog to experience in its entirety, especially if you're like me and do the whole block in one evening right before the deadline due to some strange, misplaced compulsion to maximize your in-game time, while you're letting the weeks and months fly by being caught in some brain-rot goon holes or whatever in real life. Trust me, I know you. It is a lot nicer design-wise though, I think. Different zones looking quite unique, you know. Why can't you do that, Persona 3 FES? What are you, stupid? You know, got the monad doors with extra juicy enemies. Except thanks to, among other things, the new big fuckaroonie attacks every character gets, they really aren't all that full of juice. They more of that tang, you know what I'm saying? I've mentioned the MC's wildcard ability, which helps with making the gameplay feel kinda Pokemon-ish. You gather new monsters to change between and use them to hit enemies' weaknesses and kill them. Maybe a bit more like Palwood in that regard. It's one of the fun parts of the gameplay loop to try and get all the cool looking ones. Though for me personally at least, during basically the entire mid-section of the game, my Persona roster looked absolutely dreadful. A nice mix between Garbage Pail Kids rejects, lame personas I only have because I need them to advance through social links more quickly, and some guy. Who even is this? There's a whole nother layer to these Persona games that I must admit I rarely touch, which is the whole Persona fusion optimization rabbit hole. By ingeniously fusing Personas together, you can get truly busted ones with the most busted skill combinations in the game. But really, for me all I ever wanted was to have Thanatos. Look at this guy, man. He's beautiful. I've looked at him for 5 hours now. I think this fella is actually the only Persona figurine I possess. To hell with all the waifu figures and shit I keep seeing in the stores. All I want is dope Persona figurines of, well, Personas, you know? I can get waifus in real life. But where will I find the power to summon the personification of death? If you've got any leads, I'll be waiting. The monsters you encounter in these not-so-splendid school halls are, design-wise, not quite as impressive as the roster of attainable Personas. It's not like in Persona 5 where the shadow designer stole the Persona designer's homework. Instead, the designer made like 7 silly guys that you would fight over and over again for the next 2 games, and their re-releases. You fight a lot of blobs, and hand guys, tanks sometimes, tables too for some odd reason. The mini-bosses also keep reappearing, however fresh their coats of paint may be. The killing shadows and exploring dark and twisted environments by night stuff is only one side of the coin that is the Persona experience. The other, some might consider more twisted still. As you may be aware of, the Persona games take place in high school, which is why we have to, well, go to school. I'm so sorry. You do exciting things like sit in classes, conducted by the least capable teachers conceivable. Of course you and I, we don't have the level 5 intellect of our MC, because we play video games rather than eating fish or whatever. Which is why we must tap into the ether of knowledge to answer classroom quizzes to further increase our MC's knowledge. Ah yes madam, that is a pantograph I do declare. And isn't it just the greatest to listen to some dweeb rant about his conspiracy theories about the fabric of life, somehow managing not to be fired. At the end of the day, not even Persona can make school all that palatable, which is why like 99.9% of all school days are skipped every day. While Persona 4 takes place in country bumfuck nowhere, and Persona 5 is set in the fictional city of Tokyo, Japan, in this game you live your dorm life in this here port town. Which I think is actually kinda just Tokyo again. With great locales you can visit when you're not jamming to the I Want to Die dorm theme. Like the strip mall, which, you know, got the bong store and the dementia-riddled old man. Also Polonia Mall, which houses the blue room in his head, where Schizo GF and his Schizo Big Nose guy reside. And it has this incredible new theme in this remake. Kinda slapper that has you tap out googling Persona 3 Reload Night theme immediately. We're not feeling the da-da-da-da out here anymore. With John Persona's Schizo GF, you can explore different parts of the city, having learned the ways of the human and be very normal. You can also explore each other's bodies, perchance. Another massive aspect of this game are the 20 or so social links you can have with various characters you encounter in Persona 3 City, and these aren't limited to just your teammates. Social links are introduced through one of the most iconic characters in this game's series, Classmate, who forces you into 10 episodes of his exciting story about how he tries to get with his MILF teacher. Spoiler alert, it fails miserably. Quite a few of your social links you meet through clubs and activities at your school. For some odd reason he hasn't adopted my tried and tested most diabolical Sigma technique. True combo of immediately getting off your chair as the school bell rings into not talking to anyone into going home immediately. You meet the track team man, who we talk into not taking any breaks, even though his leg is in the process of crumbling on his own weight. He will probably never walk again. There's also some unsavory types here, like this suing club guy is both a weeb and French, so we might want to steer clear of him entirely. Then there's Scott the Woz. There's been a lot of people lately around him, fucking collapsing. What the fuck is Scott supposed to do about this? He's just a guy, lady. Go to the nurse, idiot. I feel like he should actually stay away from all hospitals. Guy brings bad luck. He's spotting that calamity manipulation. We really should not let him become head doctor. And I better stay away from Scott before anything happens to me.
Did you remove your shirt?
But social links are of course not just limited to your peers at school. We do be hanging out with a lot of proto-boomers, maybe to substitute John Persona's long-lost father figure, like Abusive Man, Dementia Man, and Tax Evasion Man. We also befriend a trauma-dumping gamer girl. Now the funny thing here is that this online lady is actually your teacher, who has been accidentally grooming you.
I said all that to you?
What is even better is that we are one up on Kenji, that fool. Now who is the MILF hunter, you dumbass? Like, that was your entire personality, brother. And even that has been taken away from you. Now you truly remain just some guy. The MILF hunter becomes a MILF loser. It has happened many a time. But anyway, don't make a mistake. If this lady's innocent sin online chat logs ever leak, she shall be cancelled and eradicated from this earth. And it will be deserved too. Then there's this little girl we hang out with on the playground, and whom we assist in running away from home? Jesus.
Bye-bye. Can we get married?
Literally nothing can make me choose this dialogue option, by the way. We're not doing femc shit on here. The amount of time we will have to invest into any given social link will depend on whether your chosen replies are those your friends want to hear. If not, you will be punished by having to spend more time with your friends. Me? Well, I had to use guides to choose the right options to advance social links quickly. I don't got no social skills, bruv. This was the first time I managed to max out all social links in a Persona game, I think. But the victory felt hollow, somehow. I want to speak a bit more on John Persona, who has many peculiarities about him. I would describe him as a generally very unfazed person, which becomes apparent already at the start of the game. When at midnight his environments turn into a bloody, disgusting Yakuza Kiwami 2 green-tinged looking horrorscape, while all living men, women and children have been turned into sarcophagi. The only feelings he displays upon this happening are none. His damn catchphrase is, I don't care. You can't get much edgier than that. But then, to be fair, the literal embodiment of death is sealed within his soul. You gotta be a little edgy at that point, as a treat. That doesn't excuse his character flaws though. Going through his social links reveals deeper problems within him. And I don't even mean the edge case of letting his intrusive thoughts win, but a more general problem. This here John Persona is a horrible enabler of a person, leading all his friends and associates down the road of their worst impulses and instincts. He cares about nothing more than getting those sweet social link points, for which he will give life-ruining advice. But I guess it always turns out well somehow, so I suppose he remains blameless in the end. Society, perchance. He only ever shows emotions when he does this weird-ass move with his hand. You do this every time anyone says anything. But yeah, I mean, as literally me as John Persona might seem, the truth is you and I, we wouldn't be him. We would be Kenji. We would be man who can't get groovy. Indifferent student. Apathy syndrome man. We would be man listening to the radio screaming. They were playing Weezer. Anyway, social links. The discrepancy in the quality between any two given social links can be quite severe. Day and night, you could say. Which is funny in a way. Maybe not ha-ha funny, but you know, peculiar I guess. Because probably the best and the worst links here are the sun and the moon. One having you encounter a dying young man, coming to terms with his fate, and trying to find some meaning in his remaining time, tying together his story and the story and larger themes of this very game. While the other has you meet and befriend Nikocado Avocado, except he's also a cult member and scams people, I think, which to be honest, for all I know about today's YouTube sphere, the real guy may have also done that, man. What the fuck do I know? Anyway. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I use the old close eyes fast forward on the old gluttony pill chunkler. You know, most of these social links, they basically barge your door in and force you to spend time with them. But not every social link is quite so easy to start. If you want to hang with the ladies from your squad, you either respectively need knowledge, guts from Berserk, or double your riz, I believe they call it. You'll want to mainly use your evenings to get your social stats as high as possible. You're not courageous enough as a man, as a human being? Yeah, you just gotta go over to McDonald's and eat a shitty burger, bro. You might think eating burgers every day will just increase my blood pressure, but it's actually for increasing my courage, alright? It shows I truly am not afraid of dying of a heart attack at 30. The optimizer within you may want to consider which given option is the best. And this game has taught me that, rather than sit down to study, I should either go play some games at the local arcade, or eat fish to ace my exams. Once again, I must notice that I spend my time making my fictional character become a genius within the confines of this also fictional story, while I myself remain a dumbass. Once you have maxed a given social stat, you will never have to work on it ever again. Get it twisted. Once you pass a certain threshold of knowledge, you cannot get any smarter. So just stop bettering yourself, for you are the apex. You will ace every single exam, it has been foretold. After roughly the first half year of your Persona life, almost all of your evening free time is frankly kinda useless, because you have become the social apex and there's not much left to be done, except hang out with these shifty old men. One is an alcoholic divorcee monk you hang out with in a nightclub. The other, a slightly less creepy Elon Musk, trying to groom you into becoming his protege or something. The CEO of scamming people. He's the OG Sigma grindset man. He also talks a worrying amount about you becoming an underwear model. This man will be a crypto investor 10 years from now, by the way. And then at some point there's just literally nothing left to do at night. I'm just sitting there spending my time on this weird dating site, praying, thinking of the gourmet king for some reason. Your afternoon free time window, on the other hand, is very valuable. You must be careful with it, if you want to max all social links, that is. And the most important lesson? Do not ever hang out with your non-school friends on school days. Alright? What, they've got important stuff going on? The old man had a heart attack? I'm sorry, but that'll have to wait until summer break at least. Makoto can also romance one or multiple of the ladies in this game. Some call them girls due to their lack of age. You've got that Atlas moment of a girl unable to cook, certified hood classic, or you can watch a Nepo baby find out what a hamburger is. Crazy stuff. You know, Makoto has actually changed quite a bit from the times of the original Persona 3, where he was a man who did not believe in different sex friendships, automatically getting involved with every girl he brought to max social link. Nowadays we have the option to reject the girls, which I must greatly take advantage of, because I am not very interested in teenage girls, thank you very much. I am much more interested in funny, silly eldritch beings. And toasters. You may wonder why I have not mentioned the male team members' social links, and that has a simple reason: there ain't none. Makoto kinda hoe before broke and a fella for real. Reload has somewhat alleviated that issue though, introducing new linked episodes that are very missable and take valuable time away that you could use on maxing social links instead. But they give you a lot of character insight and grant you a special persona if you complete them. So gotta hang out with the bros. You can also do all kinds of hangouts with your dorm mates.
Have you ever read the famous dystopian science fiction novel 1984?
But you just gotta do it enough times to reap all the benefits. Junpei's crit god status shall increase ever more. After that's done though, you know, why hang out with them anymore, if you don't get much of anything for it? Back to the shitty dating site it is. While going through the story, new people keep joining the seas. And compared to other Persona games, they don't even all get an entire dungeon to be introduced. They're just letting anyone in. During summer vacation they just let a random kid, an actual dog and a crack addict on the team. The dog is actually one of the best team members, by the way. All these party members get their own personas, largely inspired by Greek myth. Hermes and Cerberus and Athena and Caesar. And the team members in this game are not like Persona 5, where everyone is linked to each other through John Joker. And Joker is the most important guy in everyone's lives, beloved by all. Honestly, it kind of feels like half the people don't even know what they're doing here. But they've awakened to the Persona power, so gotta join the party. Really, most of the members don't even like each other until like 3/4 through the game. My favorite is the edgy loner man, whose persona is so strong he just kinda destroys every enemy we face. Time to use all my one-time use stat increase items on him immediately. That's a good plan, I think. Bonding with the team and certain schoolbound characters also happens via events that are strewn throughout the in-game year, like school trips and other formative experiences people go through in their youth. Well, dear viewer, maybe some people like you, maybe even like me, who could say, do not experience those marvels of youth. Reality is often disappointing, but this is fiction, alright? We have some classic events here like Operation Babe Hunt. Sadly all babes here are either taken or AFK junior voters. Rip Junpei, you were a real one though. You'll score a goth baddie eventually, I'm sure. The truth is, Junpei got no riz, and Aki got no riz, and us, well... But what Operation Babe Hunt does bring us is a new party member, who fulfills functions of a toaster, alarm clock, shadow destruction weapon, and other things. There's also a trip to Kyoto, and the accompanying quintessential Atlas unfunny bath scene, which originated here in Persona 3. There's some bastard working at Atlas, who has convinced himself and those around him that this is the peak of humor. That man must be found, and he must be stopped. You know, I actually was in Kyoto the other day, and can't say anything like this has ever happened to me there. Well, there or anywhere, really. And I don't think that's actually happened to anyone ever, to be quite honest. Oh well, to be fair, the last time I was in Kyoto I didn't really do too much of anything, except for going to the same burger joint every day and having a pretty damn slapping sandwich. It might have been one of the most authentic experiences you could have over there. I should go back. Speaking of burger places, Persona 3 gives us the chance to experience truly fun stuff like Work Experience Week, where we work for the Krusty Krab or whatever. I'd rather die than ever work a 9 to 5 again. This week has radicalized me. What I like about Persona 3 is that it feels like the only modern Persona game where party members have character arcs beyond the introductory dungeon. Different characters have some beef with each other. They got their own stuff to deal with. And by the end of the game, that shit really makes you feel like you wanna kill death. The second awakenings here are actually tied to things that happen in the story, rather than their social link. Like, yeah, that other model is a real bitch, let's girl boss this bitch. I don't actually remember if that happens, but whatever. This character development though also introduces a bit of ludonarrative dissonance, as Junpei's always been my damn crit spamming goat, MVP in most every fight, the best to ever do it, while also being the butt of most jokes, and having a whole identity crisis about being useless.
More like Stupe, ace defective.
The way the story unravels in this game is pretty interesting. For like the first half year the team is just kinda bumbling about, not much of relevance happens ever, until shit hits the fan and a bunch of people die and the gang gets tricked and betrayed and fails their mission completely. The cast of antagonists includes classic characters like Shirtless Revolver Jesus, a plank of drywood, Jerry Seinfeld, and the literal embodiment of death, who all have the great morally complex motivation of killing equals kinda funny though. Seinfeld has a meltdown because he isn't funny enough, and hacks into Aigis' mainframe or whatever. Never ask Jerry why his murder robot looks like an attractive young woman. Anyway, he tried to put us on a cross, but we haven't even fused Messiah yet. What is this, amateur hour? It's like my man Satan said, the comedy is over. By the end of the year, everything has turned to shit. All friends we ever had are evil, or dead, or evil and dead. We are drifting towards the unavoidable end of the world. Our task having been an absurd quest for no gain all along. Nyx wants to enact the fall. Well, Nyx, or the Nyx avatar I suppose, who is Ryoji and Nyx, but is also neither, probably. And also doesn't want to enact the fall? He, or she, or whatever, just sort of does, I suppose. It might be Nyx Ikigai, or Shinigai, I have no clue, man. The fall is the brain rottification of all. A bit premature for 2009 maybe, am I right fellas? Upvotes to the left and subscribe to my OnlyFans. Anyway, if you possess the mental fortitude to not kill Deathman, and thereby choose the bad ending, it is time to live with determination. John Persona gets seasonally affected depression, the color scheme of the world around him changes, and Cease turns into the Nyx Destruction Squad. Just gotta pull off this one last impossible job and we can retire. You know, back in my day we could just pull out the old Tanaka exploit and skip all that nonsense. Up on Tartar Sauce we faced a Strega member nobody cares about. After being humiliated by us, he goes out in a blaze of glory. But I mean, like, I don't really know you, dude. Kinda don't care. And then we faced the false prophet. Though I mean, his prophesizing was actually pretty spot on. Upon his defeat, which I'm sure is at least partly owed to a slight numbers advantage, he just kinda lies down and chills there while we do our shit. I mean, to be fair, his goal is already about to come to fruition, and he does the same shit again on the rough. But yeah, the important part is that the Arcana is the means by which all is revealed. And we fight death itself, and the Arcana is the means by which all is revealed. We literally do not have the ability to kill death. The Arcana is the means by which all is revealed. Still we fight, even though the Arcana is the means by which all is revealed. But it doesn't turn out so well.
The means by which
all seems lost, but through the power of friendship, we hear encouraging words from the many social links we maxed out. John Persona goes Super Saiyan and becomes Jesus and kills himself to stop death from killing all. Nyx, the old idiot, never bought the Arcana expansion pack. He didn't know there were like 10 missing. Door Jesus takes his rightful place that was stolen by the shirtless fake Jesus and becomes this world's messiah. Jesus Persona has just enough juice left in the tank to become a walking corpse, so he could one day fulfill his promise of meeting his friends on the school rough. On this final day, we are tortured by being told all the things we know Makoto will never be able to do. He will never become an alcoholic. Damn. He will never secure the MILF. Damn. In the last moments of Persona's life, all his friends remember and come just in time to find John Persona falling asleep. Let's wait for him to wake up, shall we?